Ever dreamt of a world with free energy? Not just cleaner energy, but completely free and limitless. Today's deep dive takes us through your research on suppressed energy inventions.
Okay.
We're about to wade into a world where groundbreaking science collides with whispers of conspiracies, shadowy figures, and maybe even a touch of the unbelievable.
It's fascinating how this topic straddles the line between science fiction and whispers of real-world patents, pushing the boundaries of what we understand about energy.
Okay, let's unpack this. We've got everything from cars allegedly running on water to engines supposedly powered by the vacuum of space. It's like a sci-fi writer's dream or maybe a nightmare, depending on how these stories unfold.
Right, and while the science behind some of these inventions seems far-fetched, the recurring theme of secrecy, hidden patents, and even claims of foul play definitely make it a compelling area to explore.
And that's what makes this so intriguing. At the heart of it is this idea of over-unity devices producing more energy than they consume.
Right.
Basically, perpetual motion machines, right? The holy grail of energy.
Exactly. But of course, this bumps up against established physics, mainly the laws of thermodynamics, which suggest you can't get something from nothing.
But that's where these stories get interesting. Take Charles Pog, for example. This mechanic back in the 1930s supposedly created a super efficient carburetor that achieved an unheard of 220 miles per gallon. Imagine the impact on the auto industry, on oil, on everything.
It's a powerful example, and according to the research you've gathered, his invention was tested, even written about in automotive magazines at the time. But then, things take a turn. Pog's workshop was ransacked, his research vanished, and he never spoke publicly about the invention again. Did he stumble onto something that powerful interests wanted buried? It's a question that hangs over a lot of these stories.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? What if some of these inventions were actually viable? Is it really so far-fetched to think that there are forces out there, maybe governments, maybe corporations, who want to maintain the status quo, even if it means suppressing groundbreaking technology?
And that brings us to something called the Inventions Secrecy Act of 1951. This law essentially allows the U.S. government to classify inventions deemed a threat to national security. While seemingly straightforward, it becomes a breeding ground for conspiracy theories, as some argue it's used to suppress technology that threatens powerful interests.
And we've got cases that fuel these theories, like Tom Ogle in the 1970s. He developed a car that supposedly ran on its own fumes, achieving an incredible 100 miles per gallon.
Ogle's story is particularly tragic. After garnering some attention, he faced legal challenges and tragically died under mysterious circumstances. His invention was soon forgotten.
It's like a pattern emerges, incredible invention, whispers of suppression, then silence.
Yeah.
But instead of just listing inventors, let's dive deeper into some of these mind-boggling concepts.
Okay.
You got a bunch of research on zero-point energy. What's the deal with that?
Think of it this way. Imagine a still pond.
Okay.
On the surface, it looks calm, right? But beneath, there's a whole ecosystem teeming with life and energy. Zero-point energy is like that. It suggests there's a vast, untapped energy field, even in the vacuum of space, a concept called the quantum vacuum.
So it's like this hidden ocean of energy we can potentially tap into.
That's the theory. And it's captivated inventors like Floyd Sweet, who claim to have created something called a vacuum triode amplifier, or VTA. He supposedly powered standard household items using a device the size of a deck of cards.
That's absolutely wild. A device that's small powering actual appliances.
Yeah.
What happened to it?
Well,
Did anyone ever verify his claims?
that's the mystery. Like many in this field, Sweet faced pushback, even threats, and his invention vanished after his death. Another intriguing figure is Stanley Meyer, who claimed to have a water-powered car.
Wait, a car running on water? How is that even possible?
Meyer claimed to use a process called electrolysis, splitting water into hydrogen and oxygen and using that to power his car. He unfortunately met a tragic end as well, with rumors of poisoning swirling around his case.
It's unsettling how many of these inventors seem to meet untimely ends. It's easy to brush it off as coincidence, but the sheer number of cases raises questions.
And it speaks to a larger theme we see in the research you've gathered, the intersection of groundbreaking science and powerful interests. If we step back and look at the bigger picture, the common thread isn't just about whether these inventions work, but about who stands to gain or lose from their existence.
You're right. We see it with POG and the potential disruption to the oil industry, with Ogle and his fuel-efficient car. It makes you wonder if the pursuit of free energy isn't just about scientific breakthroughs, but also about navigating a web of economic, political, and maybe even national security concerns.
Exactly. And that's where things get really interesting because it forces us to ask, what is the price of progress? And who gets to decide which technologies see the light of day?
It's almost as if the very idea of free energy challenges a deeply entrenched system.
Precisely. And that challenge extends beyond just energy. It makes you question what other innovations might be tucked away, deemed too disruptive or perhaps too dangerous for the world to handle.
Okay, so say some of these suppressed inventions are real, that they really did what they claimed. What can we even do about it? How do you fight against something so deeply hidden?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Some advocate for radical transparency for declassifying patents, shining a light on what's been hidden in the shadows.
But that assumes those in power are willing to play along. It feels a bit like asking a magician to reveal their secret.
Exactly, which is why some believe the most powerful tool is open source innovation. The idea that if these technologies are truly revolutionary, the best way to keep them from being suppressed is to make them impossible to control spreading the knowledge, empowering individuals to build and experiment for themselves.
So it becomes a decentralized movement, a kind of knowledge rebellion. Fascinating. But it still feels like we're left with more questions than answers. What should our listeners take away from all of this?
Perhaps the most important takeaway is the importance of curiosity itself. To keep asking questions, to remain skeptical of easy answers, and to never underestimate the power of human ingenuity, even when it's pitted against seemingly insurmountable odds.
So to our listeners, as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of suppressed energy inventions, we leave you with this. Keep digging, keep questioning, and who knows, maybe you'll be the one to uncover the next groundbreaking discovery. Or maybe, just maybe, by keeping the conversation alive, we can help ensure that those discoveries finally see the light of day.